Guys, Minecraft has confirmed it. Hot shot first! All weirdness aside, welcome back, Stargazers. Welcome to a new video. In the last episode, if you remember, we were looking for a village, and we managed to find one. And in this video, here I am trying to get all the villagers back to my base. Let's get into this. Day 25 was mainly spent trying to get villagers in boats and trying to paddle them back into where I could take them home on land, but I got so confused with the area that I kind of got lost a few times and didn't know what that guy was doing, so not a lot of progress was made.
Don't worry, my villager friend. To infinity and beyond.
I eventually gave up trying to figure out how to paddle them on boats and went around looking for new villagers that I could find to maybe get some more easy access. Unfortunately, I just was staying kind of confused. I still didn't know what that guy was doing. And I actually took a short break just to get my head straight. Gasp! Why were we gasping? When I came back into the world, I trapped the villager in here so he'd be protected, and I slept into the night into day 26. From there, I just went exploring a little bit, trying to see what I could find, trying to find a way back to to my main base, so that way I wouldn't continue wandering aimlessly. I also trapped these two villagers in a boat together, and then towered up above so that way I could mark this place and come back for them whenever I got the chance to. But for now, I just spent time looking for an easy path to get my villagers back home. I started marking their land with torches so that way I knew which way to take my villagers. This was a huge lifesaver, and it made getting these villagers from one place to another a whole lot easier. After doing all that, I decided to make a boat and try to head home so that way I knew exactly which direction to take, so that way I can journey home and take the villagers there. It was a very long boat ride trying to figure out which way was home, and I actually managed to find a swamp. I'd definitely be coming back here whenever I needed slime balls. I started using coordinates so that way I could figure out which direction I needed to go, and lo and behold, I eventually found my way home again. I went inside and stored everything I wouldn't be needing in a chest, and I made myself some stone shovels and pickaxes because I thought getting villagers in a boat from one area to another is going to be pretty hard, so I might want to make it easier on myself by flattening out a certain area. After that, I went right back into the ocean, heading back into that village. At least I was, until I spotted some gravel floating out in the middle of nowhere and decided to go swim for it and pick it up. And while swimming around to see what happened and if there was more gravel, I found myself a sunken ship and went to go investigate. It didn't have the best loot, but I did grab the leather tunic because it had an enchantment. But even better, I found a treasure map! I guess we know what we're going to be doing next episode, huh? After taking what I could, I kept on boating towards where the village was, and I managed to find this cool looking structure under the water. A bunch of kelp swam up to the surface, and I decided to go get it and had a close encounter with a squid. The sea monster! Ah! Oh, wait, now we got some actual sea monsters. An army of drowns came up out of nowhere and invaded me. I decided I can take them all on, right? Fortunately, there was a bit too many than I thought, and they started getting on my boat. I was in serious trouble. I had to fight off an army of drowns. I'm gonna let this play out for you guys so you can see just how bad to the bone I am. After dispatching all of the drowns and getting the loot from the chest underwater, I went back into the little area where I could find the village. Once I got on the beach, I immediately had to start clearing the area, killing the zombies that were near me. And I went to bed to sleep in the night. In the night. The next day, there were still a bunch of zombies around, so I went around killing them all because they wouldn't leave me alone. And this one kid shared some words with me that both warmed my heart and the rest of my body, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. Unfortunately, zombies were my only problem, as you can see. But it wasn't all bad news, bears, cause look what happened.
Whoa, that was close.
Yeah, that's right. I got my second music disc. I was so happy I threw my sword down. I kindly and politely thanked the skeleton for helping me, and then went to retrieve my prize. I finally made it back all to the way where the village was, and set up shop real close so that way I can get everything ready, prepare a nice little runway, and also store everything I didn't need at the time so that way I had some free inventory space. After all that, I began construction on the runway. I had to clear out a bunch of trees so that way I wouldn't have any trees or leaves interfering with my transportation of said villagers. I also began leveling out the land so that way I had a clear path and a clear shot of transporting my villagers without having to go on a bumpy road. After clearing out a few more trees and setting up multiple pathways so that way I could safely transport the villagers, I began actually transporting the villagers. I'm saying that so much in this video. But like any Minecraft YouTuber will tell you, with working with villagers, it's always a hassle. Trying to get these guys in their own individual boats took Trying to get these guys in their own individual boats took forever. I became so fed up I made a bunch of different boats so that way if they went in any direction, I'd be capturing them. And yet somehow they still got away. I became so fed up with them all, I just decided to steal their bell.
My bell now, villagers.
So yeah, anyways, I then finally got to moving the villagers to where I wanted to take them. I got them in their boats, made a tunnel so that way I could easily transport them without any unnecessary ruckus, and finally got my first villager captured. I think you could tell I was really happy about it. I dropped this guy in the water in the boat so that way I could come back and get the others first before I began actually transporting all of them to my home. The next day, same thing. I kept on bringing the villagers over from one area to the next. I did this until I got at least 3 villagers. I tried to get a 4th, but the guy was a little bit mad at me for accidentally hitting him when he didn't get into the right boat. So yeah, I settled for 3 and I got them to the same area so I could get ready to transport them on day 30. Okay guys, after one eternity, we managed to get 3 villagers. Now, we only need 2 really, but I like their attire, you know? How they got like a difference between the original Plains villagers. The Spruce ones, yeah. These dudes, they look a little bit cool, so I want to keep a couple of them, you know? I might get that farmer I was trying to get earlier. I hit him a couple of times, so he's kind of mad at me. But maybe I could just get a zombie villager to, you know, like, you know, bump down his prices. Let's say that, you know, the persuasive type. Okay, so I'm just going to be taking these guys home. I'll see you when it's done. It took a while, but I managed to get back every last villager into this little box I decided to make after I finally transported the first one to my home. What I did was I made this box so that way they wouldn't get attacked by any zombies and they also wouldn't wander off. So I basically just went back and forth until I got all my villagers home. Once I retrieved them all, I realized that they would need a place to live, and I wasn't planning on sharing my home with them. So I decided to make them their own little house. I decided to base it off one of my own designs this time. I kept on building it up until the first layer was complete. After that was done, I filled in a little bit of a roof. It's nothing pretty yet, but it will look pretty soon. I'm gonna make it, spice it up, make it look real nice. Once I finished up the first layer of my house, I decided to light up my house a little bit more just so that way it looked good and looked nice and bright. And after that, I went to bed in the new bed I got from the village. At this point, we were 33 days into this world. I did what I could to make the villager house look more like an actual house before I brought them in. Once I have finally got them all set up in here, I will continue to work on the house and make it look even better. I put up some fence gates instead of doors so that way the villagers won't be getting out of these things. And finally, after all of that, I was ready to let the villagers out and welcome them to their new home. Sadly, I still had to boat all the villagers into the house, but thankfully it wasn't as much of a hassle as trying to get them halfway across the ocean as it was trying to get them into their new home. I also made sure to brighten up the place just so that way no mobs would spawn in and, you know, once again, kill my villagers. I don't want that. I want them to be safe, secure, and happy. After the first villager, things were easy. I managed to get the second and the third villager into their new home. After getting them all in the home, I decided to make my first villager a farmer, because I have a lot of crops and farmers are an easy way to get emerald. After that, I decided to make my second villager a fisherman, because I thought since I have a farmer, I might as well have a fisherman, and fishermen look cool. And for the third villager, I got the cartography table that I got from their village and used it to make my third villager a cartographer. Because like librarians, you can sell cartographers paper and get certain maps from them, like woodland mansion maps. And since I have a lot of sugarcane, I was born for this. Remember back a few episodes ago when I said sugarcane is OP resource? Well, here it is, boys and girls. Yeah! I don't know why I just yeehawed there, but my point still stands. I turned a whole bunch of the sugarcane I got to paper and sold it to my brand new cartographer. Not only did I get him to level 2 and got a whole bunch of emeralds from that, but I also managed to get an Ocean Explorer map as his next trade for the second level. Pretty good, I'd say. I decided to get whatever sugarcane I could from the area that I didn't pick up when I went around like a maniac chopping down the sugarcane earlier, and decided to sleep right next to the sunset. Anyways guys, I think that's going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you would smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you hadn't already, and hit the bell to always stay notified whenever I post a new video in the comment section down below if you got any questions or suggestions for any future videos or ideas or whatever. And yeah guys, that's it. Share with your friends, shine bright like a star. I will see you guys in the next episode. Check you later.